Welcome to Soldiers Walk Memorial Park. The park is located in Arcadia, Wisconsin. Arcadia is approximately 30 minutes from Winona, Minnesota, 45 minutes from either LaCrosse, Wisconsin or Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 2.5 hours from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and approximately 5 hours from Chicago. It's the United States' premier war memorial park outside of Washington, D.C. Soldiers Walk is a 500-meter walk that represents most of the U.S. conflicts and some of the most important individuals in its history, with monuments and granite pavers. It is modeled after the Great Walks in Paris and London and dedicated to all veterans that have served in the United States military. Mature trees enhance the beauty of the entire park by design, creating an outdoor sanctuary unlike any other. Among his many philanthropic contributions, Ron Wanek, founder of world-leading furniture manufacturer Ashley Furniture Industries, is the lead benefactor and designer of Soldiers Walk. Ron Wanek's admiration for veterans was cultivated during his childhood. Almost all of his teachers were World War II vets, and he remembered the stories they told him of the war. In fact, most of the men that he remembered from that time were veterans. Vets from the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, or Korea. To Ron, it seemed almost everybody he knew was a veteran. They were extremely proud Americans, and that pride and honor was infectious to Ron, who he's credited to helping make him the man and leader he would later become. Soldiers Walk allows its visitors to experience America's history in one contiguous location. It begins with an iconic monument of George Washington on his horse, representing the Revolutionary War. The walk's year-by-year chronicle of our nation's history of conflict begins in 1848, 1 year prior to Wisconsin's official admission into the Union, and continues through the year 2348. The 500-meter walk is 1,640 feet long, or just over 1/3 of a mile. When you factor in the rotunda at the beginning of the walk and the Millennium Amphitheater, the park's preeminent stage at the end of the walk, the length of the park is over 1/2 mile long. A walk through the park is a walk through time. 1 meter represents 1 year. Today, tens of thousands of visitors experience Memorial Park firsthand each year, honoring and learning about some of the most significant conflicts and historical figures in U.S. history. Since the United States declared independence, we have been involved in over 200 conflicts outside of our country. There is a plaque as you enter the park listing them all and what they entailed. Soldiers Walk places emphasis on the key conflicts and people that helped create this great nation of ours, with 28 monuments depicting 43 people in all. Memorial Park and its renowned walk are maintained by the City of Arcadia, members of the community, individual, and corporate donations. Memorial Park was established in 1989. Under the stewardship of Mayor Gene Killian, the City of Arcadia purchased land that would eventually become home to Soldiers Walk, an aquatic center, athletic fields, a kids' play area, Kids Kingdom, a visitor center, and additional public facilities for hosting family and community events. All of these facilities, the memorial, and all of the trees and benches throughout the park were donated. Ron Wanek, founder and chairman of Ashley Furniture Industries, along with Ashley Furniture's contributions, approximately $10 million, not including their time, which is estimated to be approximately 30,000 hours. Families honoring veterans and other loved ones have donated trees, benches, and other memorials in the park as well. The Arcadia Lions Club donated the Soldiers Walk Visitor Center, the pavilion, and the monstrous barbecue pit, considered one of the largest indoor barbecue pits in the country. Soldiers Walk got its start from Ron Wanek's original idea to build a memorial to Vietnam, just one monument modeled after the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. A lot of Ron's friends were in Vietnam, and he didn't like the way they were treated when they came home. The idea behind the memorial was to honor those who served in Vietnam, to give them the recognition they deserved. After the Vietnam Memorial, Ron had an idea for a concrete ribbon through the park that would honor America's conflicts and those that served. A timeline of sorts, a walk through history. This became Soldiers Walk, with 28 monuments depicting 43 people in all. An impressive statue of George Washington, America's only 6-star general, resides on the northwest corner of the park, in the Soldiers Walk Rotunda. The rotunda also has monuments that pay tribute to the Mexican-American War and the War of 1812. Nearby, there are statues honoring POWs and MIAs. As you stroll through the walk, you will see monuments honoring the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, the Spanish-American War, Teddy Roosevelt, World War I, World War II, the Iwo Jima Memorial, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Persian Gulf War. The final memorial you'll see on the walk is dedicated to the War on Terror, when America was attacked on September 11th, 2001. The memorial features an actual twisted steel beam from one of the Twin Towers that was recovered from the tragedy at Ground Zero in New York City shortly after 9/11. There is a Patriots Memorial, an eye-catching display of pillars topped by eagles at the entrance of the walk, and a 30-foot-high Angel of Mercy monument depicting a fallen soldier being lifted to heaven. It is made from a single piece of black marble weighing 50,000 pounds. Beautiful flower gardens are placed in front of each memorial in the middle of the walk, symbolizing the length of the conflict, while honoring and respecting those who served during that time. If the conflict was 4 years, the garden would be 4 meters long. The garden in front of the Vietnam Memorial is 11 meters long, representing the 11-year conflict, our nation's longest. Individual memorial tributes from local families are positioned throughout the park, honoring family and loved ones. Memorials and statues paying tribute to the pioneers that settled America are also included along the walk. A memorial featuring a draft horse being led by a man who is being observed by a boy and his dog pays tribute to the early farmers who pioneered this great country. The man's face is a likeness of Ron Wanek's father, and the children are renderings of his 2 grandsons. Positioned directly behind this monument is a tribute to the pioneer women who also helped build this great country. It's a bronze statue of a woman caring for her children with assorted feathered friends. There is also a fountain built into the memorial. The likeness of the faces pay tribute to Ron Wanek's mother and his granddaughters. Behind those monuments is the Millennium Amphitheater. The amphitheater is a 2,000-seat outdoor theater that is used throughout the spring, summer, and fall to host large community events, both day and night. One such event is the Ashley for the Arts, held the second Saturday of every August. The music, art, and charity event draws more than 30,000 people and supports more than 20 nonprofit organizations. Performing artists have included the Beach Boys and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. The amphitheater was inspired by Arlington National Cemetery. It was funded by a $1 million donation. The area behind the main stage is adorned with 2,000 bricks celebrating the year 2000, the new millennium, each of which can be purchased as a donation to the park and have custom inscriptions to memorialize individual events, birthdays, and more. The top fringe of the amphitheater is anchored by General's Overlook. This is a memorial designed to honor America's greatest generals. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander, is the tallest statue. It depicts Eisenhower as he is giving final instructions to the troops prior to D-Day. General Douglas MacArthur, commander of the Pacific Forces, is depicted as he is wading ashore upon his re-entry into the Philippines. John Blackjack Pershing, commander of the Expeditionary Forces in World War I, is depicted landing on the shores of Europe. You will also find statues of Ulysses S. Grant, our great Civil War general, Admiral Perry, John Paul Jones, also known as the father of the U.S. Navy. You will also find a statue dedicated to General George Patton, with his bull terrier Willie at the base. Patton is depicted giving orders to his troops at Bastogne during Battle of the Bulge. General's Overlook also features the American flag at the top of the amphitheater and the 5 flags for the 5 branches of service, acting as a fitting backdrop to the end of the walk. Up on the hill above the amphitheater, you'll find the first non-commissioned F-16. It was decommissioned in 1992. The F-16 is known because it has been flown by the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. You will also find 2 155 howitzers and a tank. He adapted quickly to the local customs, speaking French as well as several Indian dialects. He was both respected and feared by the local Indian communities. One of our newer memorial is a tribute to the war dogs. You will find it between the Korean and Vietnam memorials. The mission of the Gold Star Mothers is finding strength in the fellowship of other Gold Star mothers who strive to keep the memory of our sons and daughters alive by working to help veterans, those currently serving in the military, their families, and our communities. So who is a Gold Star mother? Often the question has been asked, who is a Gold Star mother? During the early days of World War I, a blue star was used to represent each person, man or woman, in the military service of the United States. As the war progressed and men were killed in combat, others wounded and died of their wounds or disease, there came about the accepted usage of the gold star. This gold star was substituted and superimposed upon the blue star in such a manner as to entirely cover it. The idea of the gold star was that the honor and glory accorded to the person for his supreme sacrifice in offering for his country, the last full measure of devotion and pride of the family in this sacrifice, rather than the sense of personal loss, which would be represented by the mourning symbols. As you enter the park from the visitor center, across from the Gold Star Families Memorial, on your left, you will see a series of pavers that briefly highlight some of the worst dictators in modern history that our world has ever known. It needs to be realized what can happen when societies embrace communism and socialism at the expense of our democracy and our republic.